The 2020 Nissan Rogue looks like no other crossover, and that's a good thing. Its stylish, forward-thinking exterior will
Mr. Grimm, how goes it? Let's get this nonsense started. Alright, so I'm going to be doing some arena, but I was just going to finish off of some of this potion energy refill farming. And then hop into the arena. I think I got to finish off the 4-star, and then the 3-star, and the 6 stars are on cooldown for a bit more. I'm doing alright, I can't complain. Can't complain. I think the legend stuff next week should be interesting. Looks like there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be nice to get from it. I'm looking forward to the trade-in for the lower level items. I trade them in for higher. I think we've had that once or twice before where you trade in like level 1 health pots and get the level 2s. Be nice if they do that for the revives too. Alright, so pick up that energy refill and quit out and head toward the other one and complete the map. So what'd you get up to for the day, Grim? Let's bring this down a little bit more. 40? Yeah, 40's good. Yeah. What's the DC fandom? Oh, yeah, I don't even need to do this fight. Oh, okay. Are they doing that in person, or was that a digital thing this year? But isn't Comic-Con kind of like anything from that genre, or is it specific to certain properties? Like, is it specifically Marvel that attends Comic-Con? Or just the DC fandom is specifically DC? So this quest or map or whatever is Science Champion. Well, all classes other than Science Champions have their attack cut in half. But once you get Aegon to a relatively decent combo, it's like, it don't matter. I think by like 50, he's hitting like crazy for this. By 100, by 100 if you start off with a heavy and you gain the Furies, basically one combo and they're dead. They dead. Holy smokes. So I've been up for about an hour and a half. When I got up, my computer temperature was at 42 degrees. Then I had the stream scheduled to start. And the actual streaming and Streamlabs have been active for about 10 minutes. My computer's at 57 degrees. That's crazy. Could use this damn thing to heat a house, my lord. Now, at least in the winter it's not too problematic though. For these last couple days, because it's so hot outside, man, it does not take long for the computer to get heated up. Did you want to try getting on voice chat, or you got other stuff going on? I'd be up for a little bit of that British accent, some crumpets and tea. Yeah. So his L3 stuns them, but I usually wait until, alright, give me a second here. I usually wait until I've got a combo of at least 50 before I use the L3 to stun them. If it's under 50, the stun isn't very long. If it's over 50, it's much longer. Alright. Let's bring up, yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if this crashes again pretty quick, but let's give it a go and see ya. Alright, I just sent you a call on Discord. Let me just check a couple of things to make sure the voice is coming in for you. Okay, that's good. Let's turn the music down a little bit. There we go. All right, you want to go ahead and try to say something? I see you there, but I don't see you speaking. Oh, okay. Well, once you're set to go, just come on in and say hello. Hello, hello. You're probably just cringing at this Canadian attempting to do a British accent, aren't you? You're probably like, no, stop it, no! Feeling like this guy, kind of. You're probably thinking,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
yeah, I agree.
Now can you hear me?
I can hear you now. How you doing?
My brother had my wire for my mic adapter,
Ah, okay.
so I had to quickly run next door and grab that.
Well, that was between the time of you accepting the call to now? How close does he live?
Well, I actually stayed at my nan's last night, so right next door.
Oh, so like within the same building then?
Yeah, in the same house.
Oh, okay. So Canadians, by next door we mean like another building, but you just meant like the next room. You meant the next room.
Yeah, the next room. Yeah, next room.
I see. So it's that language barrier that we've got going
Yeah,
on.
the next room.
Yeah.
There we go. Now, I apologize because I have a very, very bad tendency to pick up on accents and then continue in that accent when I speak.
Well, that's fine. I don't have an accent. You have an accent. I don't.
Well, that's all right then. But I tend to like kind of mirror the person I'm talking to's accent. So if I kind of
That's okay. I won't be.
pick up
I won't be offended.
That's all right. That's all I'm trying to say.
Right. So what time is it for you currently?
It is 7:21.
11:21. Oh, okay. So you're basically 23 hours, and that's Saturday night,
No.
right?
7.
Oh,
22.
7:22.
Yeah, 7.
Okay. So you're about Saturday night, right?
Yeah, Saturday night.
Oh, okay. So you're 7. So about 8 hours ahead of me. 7 hours, 7 hours. Okay.
You're on the what? East coast of Canada?
West Coast, but
West Coast,
yeah,
sorry.
but it's more
Yeah.
central. So I'm on Mountain Standard Time.
Right.
So it's not really like Saskatchewan and Manitoba would and I guess maybe a little bit of Ontario would be kind of the center of the country. So I'm
Yeah.
more western, but not on the coast. It'd be about a 8-hour drive, 12-hour drive to seawater, open water.
Oh, Jesus. So you're proper landlocked.
Yeah. Yes, we
Oh,
are. Are you on the coast
All I
where
have
you
to
are?
do- Yeah, all I have to do is just look out the window of my nan's house, and we've got the Jurassic Coast, as we call it.
Okay.
So we're on the south coast of England.
Okay.
Don't know if you know Dorset or anything like that.
No. The only... Shoot, I don't even know if I could point to London on a map, actually. Yeah, I don't think I could. Edinburgh and Glasgow and Dublin and Belfast I could, like if it's an unlabeled map. But I don't think...
Yeah.
Oh, I think I'd probably be able to get the general area for London, but not pinpointed, that's for sure. So by
Yeah.
by nan, do you mean grandmother or mom?
Oh yeah, grandmother.
Okay. So how far away from her do you live?
Normally I'm over in like more central, so I'm about 45 minutes to an hour by bus
Okay.
because I don't drive and
Okay.
I don't intend to start driving.
Oh, really?
Nah,
Why not?
I haven't. I haven't got the coordination. I have
Okay.
a heavy. I have a heavy left foot.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time I was in the car, it was an automatic, and I nearly killed my father and at the time girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, that would make sense why at the
me
time,
behind.
girlfriend.
Yeah. At the time,
Yeah.
but and that was an automatic. Can you imagine me behind the wheel of a manual?
Mm,
I'll be one of those uh, one first gear drivers.
huh.
I would never be able to get out of it.
I think that the very first vehicle. Oh no! So the very first vehicle I ever drove was an automatic. I was like, well, I didn't drive it for any length, but like to be behind the driver's wheel, I was 12. It was an automatic. But then the first that I ever drove in Canada, it was just in a parking lot, was a standard. But the only time I've actually, for any length of time, driven a standard was in Africa, and it took me a little bit of time to get used to it. And we were like doing kind of a safari thing. Like we had a vehicle, and would go from one park to another. And I was with a friend, and she was used to driving a standard. But when I was driving, and we were going in and out of the park, the rangers thought it was funny because it would keep stalling on me. And like most people were much obviously more familiar, so that like they didn't see somebody who didn't know how to drive. Basically, they thought it was quite funny.
Uh, uh, that's kind of like my brother. He, he. Well, actually, no. I'm the opposite
Hmm.
to my brother. He just jumped in the car, and that was it.
Okay.
He kind of already knew what to do,
Right.
which probably kind of answers why he's got an extensive record
Mm,
of cars.
mm. So what do you do for work?
At the moment, nothing.
Okay.
I'm off on mental health issues.
Too much gaming probably. Hmm.
Probably.
And what about your brother? What does he do?
He, I don't know. He was a labourer, I think. He goes from things to things.
Okay. Well, I am done with what I needed to do here. Picked up the 2 energy refills. Oh, crap. I almost quit out, but I actually need to finish this map in order to reset it. But I'll hit up some arena currently.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm doing at the moment.
Holy crap. So now I'm up to 60 degrees. So I'll probably crash pretty soon. Because I think it's around 60, 62 degrees where the computer is freezing at. So if I cut out, that's why. But I'll be back if I do. Interesting. Actually, that's kind of
Is it
funny.
because we've gone on call?
No, it was going up anyways, but it's weird because I'm doing less. There's less things open than I normally have. So yesterday, after it crashed the 2 times, and I ended up using a different streaming program, and it was looking
What's up now?
okay, heat-wise. But then I closed like any applications that I don't actually need open when I'm doing this. And it was staying around like mid 50s. And yeah. And then this morning when I got up, the computer was at 42. And then, like I said earlier, just having the stream like being ready to go, and then starting the streaming software, it went to about 56. And in the last 15, 20 minutes, it's gone up another 3 degrees. So we'll see. But I'm also interested to, like, I don't want it to crash, obviously, but I'm interested to see what actual temperature it actually crashes at.
What is your cooling setup? What are you using?
Nothing, just regular fans in the computer.
Yeah.
Nothing special.
I don't rate the cooling systems. If you get them wrong, then you've just wasted all of your money on the hardware.
Yeah. Well, I don't think so. The computer I have, it's about between 4 and 6 years old, and the only intensive thing I used to do on it was StarCraft or video conversion, so like from one format to another, and so playing StarCraft would sometimes crash it. But other than that, this is the only thing I've done where I've seen any kind of taxing on the system, which is interesting because it's a decent computer now. But when I got it, it was quite. It was a lot more than I needed, so I definitely never pushed it to its limits. So it's interesting to see how it handles this kind of stuff. But I think what the problem is I don't have an interface between my phone and my computer for the streaming. The phone goes directly into the computer, so the computer is having to do the processing, and I think that's what it is. So, I've got some 6 stars. So yeah.
So by the looks of things, you're gonna have to upgrade something.
Yeah.
Well, I think they do Elgato PCI Express cards now that you can just plug straight into the motherboard, and then you can just plug your phone in from there.
Okay.
And then you don't need to have the phone charging at the same time because it's just a USB lead to the Elgato.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know why people don't like Seaton or BG or anyone like that. I don't know why they wouldn't use a PCI Express Elgato card when it would just, because they're more known to the community, it would be less it would be cost effective,
right,
for them to have the PCSI slot instead of just having the Elgato extension, which according to Seaton, he goes through one every 6 months.
Oh, really?
One every 3 to 6 months he goes through one.
Huh.
And I'm thinking, well, what is the point?
Right.
But then, on the other hand, ILAC is saying that he's just gone through his first one, which he had for 2 years, and that was about 2 weeks ago.
So when you
he went through that,
the device is kind of just burning out. Then is that what the?
Yeah, because with the extension, you have to have your phone charger plugged into it.
Right. Because
there's no actual charging to keep the phone running.
Okay.
But with the PCI Express card straight into your motherboard, it's like a USB connection.
Right.
So it's charging your phone while you're streaming.
Okay. Huh.
Which I don't get why people don't use, but...
But that would be more expensive though, right? Like the way you're suggesting?
Yeah. But that is a one-off thing that will last you 2, maybe 3, maybe even 4 years.
Huh.
Where you're getting through 2 to 4 extensions in the first year.
Okay. Yeah, so I've never looked into any of that kind of stuff, and like I never even realized that was kind of just an accepted outcome of having the Elgatos, that you're going to need multiples of it, like over time. Yeah,
It
that's
depends
interesting.
on how you use them.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, with Ilac, up to about a month ago, he went through his first ever of Elgato that he bought, and that was live on stream. So luckily, he had a second one.
Oh, okay. So he was ready for it to fail.
Yeah, he
Okay.
was.
Yeah.
He was ready for that. I think about 18 months before it did fail,
Right. Huh.
on the recommendation of Seaton, and I think it was BG as well.
Okay. So see,
But
I'm
I
not.
think,
Go ahead.
like I was about to say, it's all down to how you use it.
Yeah. Huh. So I was looking up
If
some.
you're not, sorry, if you're not using it for like, if you're only using it for like 2.5 hours a day max, then you might stretch it to about 2 years.
Right. Huh. Yeah. So I'd never even bothered like monitoring the temperature of my computer. When I used to play StarCraft and it would crash now and then, I'd be like, oh, I wonder, whatever. But I was like, nah, whatever. I don't play it that often, so be it.
What is StarCraft?
Oh yeah, this is definitely a difference. It's a real-time strategy game.
Yeah.
Have you ever played Command and Conquer?
Oh yeah.
It's
I,
like
I, I was I was brought up on Command and Conquer.
okay, yeah, it's similar to that. Then it's more modernized.
Right. Okay.
It's like a space genre kind of thing, but the same idea where you build your base, build your army, attack your enemy, blah blah, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah. I get you. Yeah, I was brought up on Command and Conquer.
Uh-oh.
I love that game.
People's Champ is going to try to sell you something pretty quick here. He's kind of obsessed with StarCraft, and anybody new, he tries to sell them on it. So be prepared for a message from him pretty quick here.
I will.
I keep telling him he's like a drug dealer. Always try to push his product on people.
Hey, I'm always looking for something new to play.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm laid off at the moment, so I don't have much to do.
Yeah. Before I moved, I played. Well, I've been playing it quite a bit here too. But before I moved, I played it a lot, and then because it's something it's at your PC, so you got to be there, sitting there playing it. So while I was moving, I didn't really play it very much, and then and it was in that process that I got into MCOC. Once I got settled and my computer was all set up and whatnot, and I'd be kind of bored with MCOC, I'd play games of StarCraft. I'd take breaks every now and then. Like I think just after Christmas, I went from like December to probably April, May without playing a single game of StarCraft. And it was funny because when I got back into it, I was like, how the hell does this shit work? Yeah, it took me a bit of time to remember how things functioned.
Yeah, have you ever heard of a game called March of Empires?
There's something of Empires I've heard of, but I don't know if it's that one in particular.
Well, it's a MMORPG. It's set in the medieval times.
Okay.
That is looking. So it's like you have your castle, you have all your medieval troops and whatnot. But it's also player versus player based. But it's kind of getting like how MCOC used to be.
Okay.
Where it's now you have to pay to win.
Okay.
And it's just inviting a load of, how can I put it? Just a load of trouble between different aspects of the gaming world within that. I don't even know what I'm saying now. I rant and then I ramble and then anyway,
It's
it's a
okay.
load. Becoming a load of rubbish, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just want to probably leave that behind. So looking for a new game, and that StarCraft might be it.
Oh, okay. And I think it's free. So I started playing like maybe like 10 years. No, I don't. A while ago. But when I started playing, you had to pay for it. But now I guess you can just download it for free, which makes sense. I mean, it's been out a long time. So
Yeah. Well, when we're done here, I'll probably have a
sure.
have a look at it, and then
Yeah, and if you're gonna, I'll be. So this is half an hour. I think I might just do this for an hour. Cause, well, yeah, well, we'll see. An hour, hour and a half or something. And after that, if you want, we could. If you download it, I can go through some of the stuff with you on there.
oh yeah, that would be very helpful.
It takes a bit of time to, like anything else, to get into it. But the thing there, so like you've got a couple different aspects to it. Maybe I should get People's Champ on the call because I'm sure he'd like to be talking about this. So, like, obviously, to begin, you've got to figure out, what units to make and what they do and so on and so forth. But then, as you progress from there, then the strategy part comes into it, right? Like, you need to know what units counter what units. Then you can do, like, different placements. And, yeah, it's funny because it is just a game.
Yeah.
But you have to think, and you have to think quickly and respond quickly. So, but once you get it, if you have any interest in it, the best way to learn is to play ladder matches. It might be a bit intimidating because you're playing against other people, and like it's your win-loss ratio is tracked and blah blah blah. So if you're a competitive person who's all about winning, it might be a bit stressful. But if you don't really care, it's a great way to learn. One, because you'll see what other people do, and then it gives you ideas. And then playing against another person, I find, is much more difficult than playing against a computer, because a computer is basically going to do the same thing over and over and over. Whereas playing against a person, they're going to adapt to the situation a lot quicker than the computer would. So.
Very true. Right, which one is it? Because it's coming up with like 1, 2, and remastered.
2.
I take it it's the remastered. 2.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's 3 different races you can play. There's Terran, which are like humans. There's Protoss, which are like an energy-based alien species, and then there's a Zerg, which is a biological alien species. And but I mean, just playing the PvP doesn't really matter any of that. But like in the story mode, some of that stuff comes into prominence.
Yeah. Well, the story mode we'll have to wait for now.
Mm-hmm.
Because that I have to pay for, but
I
will download the free version.
Yeah. Does it say you have to pay for the story mode?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. I see.
But that's all right. I will try it out, and then if I like it, I'll definitely go out and buy it.
Yeah. No, I mean, because People's Champ was saying that it was free. And I mean, okay, yeah, it was 8 years ago where I spent $20 for it, so be it. But I was like, damn it, I paid good money for this, and now people get it for free. But it's the PvP part of it that's free, so that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, no, it does. Sorry, I'm just doing something. Right.
Did you ever play World of Warcraft?
I tried to, but I see. I'm not a big fan of a lot of things. Middle Earthy, like Lord of the Rings type things.
Right.
But but I did attempt to play it and just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I played that pretty hardcore for about
All right, then,
6 years.
All right. Then. Yeah, I don't know what it is about the medieval type games or Middle Earth type games on the PC. I just don't like them. But then when it comes to console, I can play Skyrim all day long if I was able to. I love not the new Skyrim, not the online. That what they've done to the game now is absolutely ridiculous. But before the Xbox One, and when it was on the 360, I could play that all day long.
So I've heard of it, and I've heard music from it. I don't think I've ever seen gameplay. So what is that? What is Skyrim? Or like what type of game?
It's open world. It's just you, so it's offline all the way.
Oh, okay.
It's full of dragons, and so like I said, it's fully offline. Full of dragons and other races. I think there's like 9 or 10 different races.
Oh wow!
That you can choose from. So there's the reptilian race, the Argonians. They're my favorite because you can go swimming with them underwater, and you don't need to come up for air for quite a while. Yeah. You've got dark elves, high elves, and a few others.
Okay.
Thalmor. It's actually very interesting, but basically all you have to do is just go round, and I don't know what kind of game to describe it as actually. What other? But it's basically open world, and it's just you going around doing missions.
Okay.
You obviously have a set story mission, but you don't have to always do that. There are plenty of other things to do.
Okay.
And if you buy it now on Legendary Edition, you get the Legendary Edition. You get the DLCs that come with it, and one of them allow you to go off world to another world.
Okay.
And fight this guy Mirak.
Okay.
It's basically you're the Dragonborn, and you're there you go. It's like Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay. Huh.
You're Daenerys, but you can be male or female, high elf, dark elf, blah blah blah.
All right. Okay, that's neat.
Hey, I got there in the end. It was.
Okay. When I first saw, StarCraft, World of Warcraft, Diablo, that's all made by the same studio, Blizzard Games, and I had played Warcraft, which was they had done other games prior, but Warcraft was kind of like their first big title, and I played that for a while, and then World of Warcraft came out. And I was like, oh, that just seems like a bunch of nonsense. Who would ever want to bother? So the first 2 years it was out, I just, didn't bother at all. And then I was staying with a friend for a while, and he was playing it. So I checked it out, and I was like, okay, you level up a character, and you so on and so forth. And then I was staying with him for about 3 months, and I think it was maybe the second month where I started playing it. And then when I moved back home, I got into it hardcore. My God, that was like all I did all day and night. Man. And then it was weird. When I lost interest in it, it wasn't like intentional or anything. I think I was visiting my parents for like a week, and I didn't play it while I was there. And I came back home, logged in like twice, and was like, nah, I'm done. shit.
That's kind of like how I felt with Skyrim when I
Okay.
first played it.
Yeah.
But then I kind of lost interest when they brought out the online version where
Right.
this is how ridiculous it got. The only way, because you could in original Skyrim, you could stash all your stuff. You could buy a house and stash any ingredients, gold, gems, armor, weapons, you name it, whatever you could get in there, you could stash it. But now what they've gone and done is they've taken that all away, and you have to be in a guild and share all of your stuff.
Oh, okay. So that's a
So-
drastic change then. If you're somebody that was playing like the original, where it's just you. Okay.
And I think that's why a lot of people complain. They still play it.
Yeah,
Don't get me
yeah.
wrong. They still play it, but it's just stupid. It's also you gotta pay to upgrade your guild slots.
Yeah, I could see something like that being really annoying for those who were used to it one way, but they probably did that because they have to appeal to a larger audience, and I mean, I don't think any game now would be successful if it's not online, really. So,
Don't get me wrong, COD are doing it the right way. Yeah, they still have their campaign mode, and then you can play online
oh,
as
okay,
well
okay.
if you choose to. But as soon as COD goes fully online, gaming could go downhill. But that's in my opinion,
Yeah.
because I know for a fact that I will stop playing COD once they get rid of campaign mode,
Okay.
because I'm not a big fan of this COD Warzone that they brought out for the mobile.
Okay.
It just doesn't have the essence of COD anymore.
Yeah. And that's Call of Duty, right? That you're talking about?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No, that's okay. Yeah, I don't think my nephew is into like the first-person shooters, so I've seen some of that. He was really into Overwatch and then Fortnite.
Oh, I love Overwatch.
Yeah, and it seems like that's, well, I don't know in general, but I know for him anyways. Like when when I first started watching him playing games, that was the one, and like he was always on it. And now I think what is it? Valorant is the new one that he's been playing. But yeah, Overwatch looked pretty cool. Like the graphics, I don't know about the gameplay. I never played it, but just looking at it,
I haven't
looked
played it yet
quite
either.
nice. Yeah.
Just watching other YouTubers play it, the gameplay just looks immense.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is into something up then, because the temperature for the computer has just been staying at 59 degrees. So I think it's when it hits 60 that's when it crashes, because it hasn't fluctuated for the last 15 minutes or so. Oh, that was stupid. Ran right into that.
Yeah, while I was trying to set up my mic wire, I got absolutely owned by a Human Torch in arenas. Absolutely owned. I forgot that you can't interrupt his heavies, can you?
In Arena you should be able to. But if it's a node, then yeah, no. Sometimes no.
No, this was in Arena, so I fuck knows what was going on there. I couldn't interrupt his heavies, but shit.
Okay. Shit, I'm trying to think of what his heavy... Oh, right, because that's when he charges his incinerate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the thing is, too,
I
with
think
him...
you have to get him before...
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think you have to hit him before he gets to max temperature when he's charging it.
Okay.
And I'm just too slow.
All right. Yeah, if you're using a Mystic against him or his Smolder's increase, yeah, you're going to be done pretty quick. Shit.
I think it was over within 15 hits. He just absolutely owned me. I was his bitch for that day. Oh, man.
You smoking or you just got a cough?
No, I just had the cough.
Do you smoke?
Yeah, I just put out a bag. Sorry, a cigarette. I keep forgetting.
I knew what that one meant. I knew what that one meant.
Because I've learned from experience with talking to American friends. Do not say fag because they will. Oh my days.
Well, you know that's interesting though, right? Because that's slang for you, so that's acceptable. Now, the meaning that attributed to it in other places is offensive, but but you saying it is not offensive. So that's interesting.
But they didn't. It was their first time talking to an English person,
right.
So they didn't know the slang. So
right.
They just ripped into me until it took about 15 minutes for me to actually get a word in before I could say, look, it is slang for cigarette.
Yeah.
Now, ugh.
But to be honest though, people need to stop getting so offended over everything that even if what somebody says. Okay, so for example, let's say you meant that in an offensive way, right?
Yeah.
You're just speaking. So for somebody to get angry at you for what you say, I think is ridiculous. Now, if you were to say, you know, people should do things to other people, like if you're inciting violence or harm or blah, 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 so be it. But if you're just speaking and saying something offensive and somebody loses their shit, I think that's nuts.
The only time I'm inciting violence is if I'm putting a couple of bullets into you on COD.
Which is amazing considering the amount of like poor language used online in video games. And I do it myself in StarCraft. Like if I'm losing, I'm usually quite gracious. But if I'm winning, I'm gonna talk shit to somebody big time.
Definitely. Oh my day. I used to be in a clan, and I was the only Englishman, and the others were Welsh. And oh my days, I don't know if you know about the banter between the Welsh and the English, but we call them sheep shaggers. And I actually don't know what they refer us to, but there's quite a few names. But we
oh dear, this is not going well.
And I'm sorry for anyone watching your stream that is Welsh. So I apologise. But
well, if Melvin,
if you know the history,
if Melvin isn't Welsh, I think it's
English.
okay.
But if you know the history between the Welsh and the English, we have a great relationship and a great banter when it comes to football or anything. Just stoners in general, actually. Welsh stoners are such a laugh to sit down with. They do not take anything seriously, whether they're stoned or not, but when they're stoned, they just don't take anything seriously. And that is the great thing, I find.
Yeah. So what do you do with most of your time currently?
Currently, I in game of some sort of or another.
Okay.
Or I'm cooking.
You like to cook?
Yeah. I love to cook. I used to be a chef.
Okay.
When I was really young.
How old
Then
are
I got into labouring.
How old are you now?
32.
What do you mean when you were really young? That's like, you still
I
are
knew you
really
would.
young. Shit.
I knew you would pick up. You would comment on that. But yeah, back in my heyday.
Yesterday, you mean?
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah, yeah. But hey, you look like you're about 20, 22 yourself in your pictures, man. You can't say
Oh,
you look old.
those pictures are a little bit older though.
Oh right, okay, okay. I'll give you. I'll let you off on that one then.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. The one in Tibet is. Oh, I guess yeah. It's not actually that old. Pulling the same thing as you just did. Yeah, the one in Tibet is about 5 years old. So I would have been 36. Yeah.
Oh, so what you're about? You're just over 40. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
41. 41 in June. Turned 41 in June.
My mum's older than you.
I would hope. I would hope so. Considering you're 32, that would make me 9 years old having a child. I would
Hey,
hope
hey, hey.
so.
She was 15, so
Oh, okay. All right then.
she was very young.
That's close. Oh, that's interesting. My temperature's dropping now. Huh. Weird.
See, it's my cool sense of humor that's bringing me down.
Yeah. You keep thinking that there, Tiger. Uh-huh.
I won't keep thinking it. I will just keep knowing it.
Mm,
I have a big head.
mm. So have you been around the UK or Europe in general much?
No. Around the UK, yeah. I've travelled the UK quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
but the only part of Europe I've been to is Paris,
Okay.
and I was under 10, I think I was. So
Okay.
since then, I've never been out of the UK.
Okay.
But
If you could go anywhere, where would your top 3 places be?
top 3.
Yeah, top 3.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. Sardinia would have to be one of my places to go.
That's in Italy, right?
Nova Scotia for second.
Okay.
Sardinia, yeah. That's Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Nova Scotia for second.
Mm-hmm.
And third and final, and this is the top place that I would like to go,
Mm-hmm.
and it would be New Orleans.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. I really don't know why, but I've had this fascination with New Orleans ever since I watched the original Candyman.
Okay.
I think that was what, early 90s,
Okay.
something like that.
Huh.
But just the party scene and the atmosphere of just a normal day in New
Right.
Orleans.
Yeah. Huh.
And I've just been obsessed with it. I've always fantasized that if I ever had the money to live anywhere in the world, that would be the only place I would pick.
Interesting. Yeah, Bourbon Street is pretty neat. You got all these bars, and they all have like they're all 2 stories, and you have a balcony on the second story that looks out over the street, so you can just hang out on the balcony and just watch all the people walk by. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, see, I'm not. I've been teetotal since I was 15, so
You've been what?
I don't. On the wagon
Okay.
since I was 15, so I haven't touched it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is gonna sound odd, but my birthday is New Year's Day, and I still don't drink for that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't drink. Well, no. I will drink, but I don't. So my dad is was an alcoholic. So growing up, I just had no interest in having that dependency on something. so I had no
Yeah.
desire for it. So then, like in my mid to late teens, when you would start doing that kind of stuff, it just wasn't my thing. And then by the time like I had moved out of home and living on my own and stuff, the desire wasn't there. So I'd be with people, they'd be having beers or wine or whatever. I would just have a Coke or whatever. I just had no interest. And then like now, so I've had a bottle of ice wine in my fridge for probably 8 months. And I mean, ice wine, it's not the bottles aren't that large. So I would have 2 glasses in 8 months or whatever. So like in New Orleans or wherever else, like I'd go to the bars. I'm not drinking alcohol, but the atmosphere is still pretty cool.
That's what I prefer, and also what draws me to it is the jazz scene.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I love jazz, so that's another thing.
Okay. Yeah, it was weird. I always liked so there was New Orleans, Sri Lanka, and one other place where I just liked the name. I had no intent or desire to ever go to the places. For whatever reason, I just thought the names were cool. And so I was staying at some friends wait, no, how did that work? Oh, right, okay. So I was at my brother's in Alberta. I'd come down. So previously in Canada, I used to live in the northern part of Canada, and there's no road, so the only option is to fly in, fly out. So, and in the winter, in the spring, the weather is always a factor, so you never know for sure if your flight is going to make it or not. So when you're leaving or coming, you always give yourself a couple days in between, like when you want to leave and when you want to be back, just in case weather becomes problematic. So I was at my brother's in Calgary, and then I was going to spend a couple days in Winnipeg on my way back home. So I went to Winnipeg, and I was staying with friends, and they were just smoking pot most of the time, and I can't stand the smell of pot. I have no problem with people smoking or whatever. I've tried it once. I didn't like it very much, and thing just kicked my ass. Anyway, so I didn't like the smell, and I'm like, well, shit, I don't want to stay here for the next 2 days. I'm going to go somewhere else. So I got there on Friday, woke up on Saturday. I'm like, okay, what's the quickest, cheapest flight from Winnipeg return within 2 days? And New Orleans was one of the options that came up. So I'm like, okay, I like the name. I guess I'm going to go to New Orleans. So, yeah. And got to the hostel there. The hostel seemed a little bit sketchy at first because it was kind of dark and a little bit damp, because I think it was like during like the rainy time of year. So I was like, oh shit, do I want to stay here? Anyways, dropped my stuff off, decided I would like look around and stuff. So took a trolley down to Bourbon Street, and it was during the day, so there was really nothing happening. So I'm like, damn, this is a pretty lame ass place. Got back to the hostel, started talking to some people there, and yeah, just the social aspect at the hostel I really liked. So I was like, okay, I'll stay here for a couple days. And for the most part, I was hanging out with a guy from, I think there was a guy from somewhere else in the States, and a guy from the Netherlands. The guy from the Netherlands, his English was fine. He had an accent, but he understood exactly what he was saying whenever he was speaking. Anyway, so we went out that evening, and this wasn't during Mardi Gras. But anyway, so we'd go out, and because he had an accent, it was a quite thick accent, so you could think it was somebody who didn't know English well. But anyways, he would just go up to girls and be like, show me your tits, and like act like he didn't know what he was saying, but he knew exactly what he was saying. Oh, shit.
Oh, bloody Nora. I love the Dutch. They know how to have fun.
Yeah.
They really do.
Yeah, it was a pretty good time, actually. It's funny, though. It seems like more often than not, things that you don't intend or don't plan, things that just happen, end up being a lot better than, where you put a lot of thought into or something. Yep. So what's the appeal of Nova Scotia?
the appeal for Nova Scotia, this is going to sound silly, but it's for that blinking island. What's it called?
Oh, Oak Island. Okay.
What is that? Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That
you
is the only attraction.
so you've watched
And
the
the fact that the Canadian. Go on.
so have you watched the series, the Curse of Oak Island?
Yep. I've watched it from season 1 to
Oh, okay.
season 7,
Okay.
which I think is what they're on now.
Okay.
So I've watched all of them, but my curiosity peaked well before that, and that was in school when I was learning about the Templars.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
just did a load of extensive other research and found that they had gone to Nova Scotia, and it was possible that something was buried there.
Right.
And then the Oak Island series comes out, and then it was like, oh yeah, something to get into again.
Have you ever seen the show Ancient Aliens?
Yep, I've seen that.
So the
I haven't watched it as extensively, but I've watched a load of them.
so the producers of that are the
So-
same as the Oak Island series.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
That I didn't know.
Yeah. I think not the guy with the crazy hair. He's not on the Oak Island, but I think there's actually a couple people from the Ancient Aliens series that also speak in the Oak Island one, because I think that, like, the Oak Island one, isn't it like every couple episodes or every episode it's like a different theory as to what's buried or what the secret is or whatever.
Yeah. They don't actually know. They just running on the theory that something's buried there because of all the stories they've heard, first-hand accounts,
Right.
everything that they've found so far.
Okay.
So, in my opinion, I don't think they actually have a working theory.
Right.
They're
Right.
just working on small little ones
Yeah.
that will possibly turn into a huge one.
So they were supposed to end that on season 2 or 3, but then they realized how popular
Yeah.
it was and how much tourism it was bringing into that area, and so that's why it's still going.
Yep. They, I can't believe it's still going. Is my what I'm so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be neat to go.
But
I've
yeah,
I've
but-
driven by it. I've never been on the island. There's a bridge between the mainland and the island, but we just drove by it. So. But yeah, it'd be neat.
Yeah, I don't think you're actually allowed on the island unless you're with a tourist group, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I would pay the fee to be taken around there. Damn right.
I think residents are allowed to come and go, though. I'm not sure. Because when I was there, it was with somebody who lived in the area, and I think he said we could have just driven over. He just needs to show his driver's license to prove that he's thing. But if I had been like from a different place or whatever, like with a rental vehicle or something, then I couldn't have gone. So.
Oh.
But yeah. So and what's the appeal for Sardinia?
I think it's just its beauty,
Okay.
to be honest. It's also its own. It has its own weather front,
Okay.
if you know what I mean. When everyone in the mainland is getting all nice sunny weather, they could be having a thunderstorm
Okay.
just purely because they're in the middle of in the middle of the sea as an
Right.
island.
Huh. Okay.
no shelter, not like Sicily, for example. It's got some sort of shelter from the tail end of the boot from Italy,
Right. Huh.
whereas Sardinia is more into the Mediterranean Sea.
Okay. Yeah, I lived in Rome for 3 months in my early 20s, and at the time it was like, I mean, I guess whatever. I thought it was like an adventure, living and working at a hostel and blah blah. So I didn't really have much desire to go around Italy. And then before I left, I ended up spending 2 nights in Florence, and oh man, I liked that. Shit, I thought Florence was so cool.
I think Rome's overrated in my opinion.
Yeah, the first week I was there, I thought it was fun. Well, and it still was. But then once I was like there for a length of time, I'm like, that's just the Colosseum. The thing that was, I thought
think my alliance are.
Your alliance what?
I think my alliance are going to be a bit ticked off with me.
Uh-oh, what'd you do?
We were meant to push on in AQ, and
Oh dear, you missed the note, did you?
no, I just came out a game after doing arena and totally forgot. I'm just glad. I'm just glad that no one from my alliance will be watching this. If you are, I'm sorry.
Well, there's only 4 people, and 2 of them are us. So and one's Melvin. So I don't think the other person is from your alliance.
You say that, and then they'll pop up saying, "Grip, game now."
Yeah.
Or I'll get a message in a couple of days. I just watched the playback of Solar's live stream, and you were on there instead of in game.
So I keep track of the defender kills for war.
Oh yeah.
Just because of my own interest, I started like 2 years ago, actually, I think. So every war, I'll just record what champion was on the node, how many kills, and whatever. And there's been a couple times now where I'm in Lakers bodyguards streams, and I totally forget. And I mean, it doesn't matter, 1 war where I miss it or 2, whatever. But it annoys me just because I like keeping track of that stuff. But yeah, like he'll be ending the stream, and I'll be like, oh shit, war's over. I forgot to keep track. But yeah, I have a thing
Got
for
a message from my alliance.
Uh oh. Are you going to be looking for a new alliance with Melvina?
Don't worry. Oh. No. No, I'm okay. They're asking someone else to push on.
Yeah, so I like
There's like 45 minutes.
Oh, it's not done for you guys?
No, we started late.
Oh right, yeah, that's right.
Started
That's
late.
right, because it's
So I'm just glad that yours actually has finished. Because then that has prompted me to go in game.
Oh, I see. Right, because it popped up. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah. So I have a thing for keeping
I'll just
lists or whatever, like to keep track of things. And I mean, it happens every now and then, but where the 22-hour solo events, like they're random, and they should be rotating between hero use, arena, event quest, and level up. But for some reason, every now and then the level up seems to take longer than 4 days to show up. And then the event quest will show up every 2 days. But anyways, so I saw people on the forums complaining about it last night, so I started keeping track. And we've had, what did I have written down here? So, let's see here. So we had hero use on the 20th, arena wins on the 21st, event quest on the 21st, and hero use on the 22nd. So today, Wait, when does so whenever hero this current
It's hero use.
Yeah, so whenever this current hero use ends, we should have level up. But I'm going to keep track of it for about a month and just see how often we get each one. Because we should be getting each one roughly the same amount.
That does sound weird.
I'm going to
So how's your alliance doing?
we're doing all right.
in the war
I'm gonna
season?
be right back. I'm gonna refill my iced tea and relinquish the last bit of iced tea, and I'll be back.
Cool. No worries.
There's something that just brings me back to nature all the time, but
When I'm lonely in the dark, I know you are with me. Yeah. Don't you see that I need you so much? Don't you see that I love you so much? Oh na 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 na, oh na na na, darling, I need your love. Oh na 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 na, oh na na na, darling, I need your love. When I'm lonely in the dark, I know you are with me. Yeah. Don't you see that I need you so much? Don't you see that I love you so much? Oh na 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 na, oh na na na, darling, I need your love. Oh na 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 na, oh na na na, darling, I need your love.
And back I am.
And I just got a message for me to move in AQ.
Ah, you're in trouble now.
I got a bit lucky and jumped. No, I jumped the gun and got in there and started moving. Now others are gonna get in trouble.
What map do you run
I am
for AQ?
so- I think it's 4-3. Yeah, 4-3-2. We
Okay.
used to do 5-4-2, but for some reason they've demoted it all.
Okay.
But yeah. In war, we only run 2 groups.
Okay. Yeah, you're asking about how my alliance were doing or doing. They're doing all right. We had been top 50 for AQ, but the last little while we've dropped out of that bracket. And then war, we were P3 last season. We lost our first war this season, but I would expect that we still finish in Platinum 3. So we're doing all right.
Wow.
Yeah. And then
So how does the tiers work? Are you above masters?
what do you mean above master?
Or
So like you
well,
go, so you got
how does it work?
so silver, gold, platinum, and then masters.
Oh right. Okay.
So we're
No,
in
that's
the,
what.
and platinum has 4. So there's platinum 4, platinum 3, platinum 2, and platinum 1. So and
Yeah.
we're in platinum 3.
We're in silver 2, I think.
Okay. Yeah, if you're running
We
if you're
made-
running less BGs, you're pretty much guaranteed to be probably no better than platinum 3. I don't think you would find a 2 BG alliance in platinum 2 just because you're not going to get as many points. So
No, yeah. No, we're more AQ focused. So we at least run half the war season to get the rewards, and then mainly concentrate on AQ.
yeah, because I think even currently AQ rewards are better for the effort put in. They buffed the war rewards a little while ago, but it was mainly the up to platinum 3 that would see a increase in the rewards. Like gold and silver, it wasn't anything substantial. But maybe, I think coming up, the war rewards will be, I don't know if they'll surpass AQ, but they'll probably come pretty close. So
Well, what did you get this at the end of season 19? 2,500 5-star shard. T4, I think 2 or 3 fully formed T4 basics. Some T5 catalyst and some other bits and pieces.
okay.
So for me in general, anyway, that every month, every 31, 32 days is the war season nowadays. That's good enough for me, especially with the amount of grinding I do
Right.
in arena. That's fine for me,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I think
we're
now,
a mix.
yeah, I think platinum 3. I think it's a 6-star for a season. I think it's 10,000 shards. Let me take a look. But yeah, I think it was a little bit unfair when they changed the rewards, how the upper tiers really benefited and the mid or lower tiers didn't really see much of an increase at all.
Yeah, and but yet they're trying to say that they're not driving a wedge
Yeah. I mean, I get it
between the lower lot.
yeah, from a business perspective, I get, they want to entice people to spend. That's how they make their money. But the thing is, you end up making such a discrepancy in the game that people that aren't able to keep up, they're just going to lose interest.
Exactly. So you're just going to be lose downloads and
Yeah. So it's kind of short-sighted, the way I see it.
But nowadays, ain't that the same in every aspect of business?
Yep. Make as much
Everyone's
as you can,
short-sighted.
as quickly as you can. Yeah.
Exactly.
Although, it's kind of funny. Apple is, I think, the most valuable company ever now. And in the late 80s, mid 90s, they almost went bankrupt. Microsoft bought out 10% of them, and they were able to sustain themselves. But so Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak founded the company, and took it to a certain spot, a certain level of development, and then Steve Jobs was pushed out. So while he was gone, they became like any other computer company, where they had tons of different models of their computer. But their sales were terrible. And partly, I'm just going to take a look at the war stuff here, and part of it was that you had so much selection, so it was hard for somebody to go in and say, okay, yeah, that's the computer I want. Yeah, so Plat 3 is 10,000 6-star shards. Oh, shit.
No,
I didn't
can't
realize.
see.
Oh, duh. I've been playing, and I totally forgot to take out. Okay. So yeah, so 10,000 6-star shards, 20,000 5-star. I didn't realize there's 20,000 5. Wow. Okay. So yeah, so then they were doing quite poorly, and then Steve Jobs ended up back at the company as CEO. And one of the first things that he did, he got rid of the variation of all of their computers, and basically brought them down to having 4 models. So there was 2 desktop models and 2 laptop models. And so it allowed them to concentrate on just those hardware components. And then I think that also contributed to them with their R&D to where they could start developing things like the iPhone, the iPad, and so on and so forth. Because now I think more than anything, they're kind of a gadget company. They're not really a computer company. Like their biggest thing is the iPhone and iPad. Like they have their MacBook Pro, and so on and so forth. And I think those are kind of cool and trendy. But when people currently, I think of Apple, they think iPhone. They don't think of a desktop computer. So
No. It's the same with Samsung. They used to be not a big fan then.
you still there? Or did you cut out?
Oh yeah, no, I'm still there. You cut out too.
Oh,
I
okay.
was wondering what was going on. Yeah, it's kind of like Samsung back in the day. They were predominantly known for their TVs and actual components rather than nowadays their phones, tablets.
Yeah.
So,
But
but
yeah.
then Microsoft, by the look of things, if Microsoft keep going down the route of the console, they might be solely known as the console company as well.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I think Apple, like that's a good example of where, if you're not being greedy and you're being smart, you can actually be more successful.
Yeah. They could have been even better if they never pushed out Steve Jobs to begin with.
I don't know though, because when he was pushed out initially, then he went on to found I think it was called Next, NEX, like capital XT, and it was they actually did they were developing a computer. It was going to be way too expensive, so it wasn't successful at all. But I think by doing that, I think that's where he ended up with a lot of his ideas when he ended up back at Apple. So I don't know if he had never left, if he would have seen some of the failings and successes of the Next computer, which he had ended up bringing into Apple. So, and I think he had something to do with maybe not Pixar. Maybe, I don't know if it was, there was some kind of digital art studio that he had some involvement with as well. So
I thought that was DreamWorks.
DreamWorks, yes, that's it. Yeah. But it's funny though because
that is
go ahead.
an interesting view. Sorry, that is an interesting view to see it as actually. That he had to be forced out to get his best ideas from failing.
But I mean, I think there's many examples of where somebody failed and took that failure and became successful, right? Like we were talking about it last night in Discord about Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. So he had initially in his early 20s, he had wanted to be a footballer, and he had been drafted by the Calgary Stampeders, the city I live actually. But he wasn't. I don't know if he wasn't good, but they didn't play him. So then basically that career was failed. And his father had been a professional wrestler. So then after his football career failed, he decided to get into professional wrestling, which he obviously did very well for himself in. And I mean, since he's now, a big movie star, and I think he's currently the highest paid actor. So I mean, you go from failure to being, a massive success.
He is number one on, it's either Forbes or Times
Okay.
richest actor.
Yeah.
He is number one.
Yeah.
But he is also a producer.
Mm-hmm.
He has his own film label, which had a hand in producing Jumanji 2, I believe.
Okay.
So he's got a lot of things going.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, he was kicked out of football and didn't make it as a career in
Right.
football, because
Yeah.
who knows what could have happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the thing, like, I have no idea how talented he was for football or whatever, but I would assume he would have ended up being, like any other athlete. He would have had his career, he would have finished, and he would have just been, oh, he used to play football, right? But because I don't think he would have ever been as big a name as he was from wrestling. And because he was that big name in wrestling is why he was able to transition to acting. I mean, you had Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper, and a few others that kind of did a little bit of acting. That none of them were.
Kevin Nash.
Yeah, none of them were very successful with it. They were very big names in wrestling for sure. But yeah, they weren't successful when they left that field into something else. But fortunately for Dwayne, he was. So. But I think a lot of it is how you deal with failure, or even looking at it as failure, right? If you look at it as simply, okay, this is giving me a message that that's not where I need to spend my energy. My energy needs to go somewhere else, and so. But it's hard if you have your heart or mind set on something and it doesn't work out. It's difficult to turn things around and look at it as a positive as opposed to a bad thing.
Yeah. Always having a brighter spin on things
Yeah.
works well.
But I think it's difficult to get to that
Successful people.
perspective, right? Because to have a positive view, you have to see positive outcomes. So if you're continually seeing the negative, or you're just not achieving what you want, it's difficult to look at it any differently than that, right? And to change your mindset on anything
No, but I think
is difficult.
if you've been brought up to get up every time you are knocked down, then going up and putting a positive spin on even a rejection is pretty easy.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was going to say, but yeah, I think it's got like everything in life. Everything starts with your upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
If you have parents that are motivating you to not push you into their dream, but push you into a direction where you want to be, then the rest of life, if you choose it to be, can be easy.
Yeah. I agree.
It's just
I agree with that
not
to
wanting to stay down.
Yeah, I agree with that to an extent. But then I look at my brothers. So we have the same father, they have the same mother, I have a different mother. They're 7 and 8 years older than I am. Their upbringing or history is basically identical to probably when they were 17, 18, I think, is when they kind of started diverging. But up to that point, everything was the same. So when I was 4, we moved to Canada, but they stayed, because we all lived in the Turks and Caicos in the Caribbean. They stayed there with their grandmother when we moved initially. So up to 17 and 18, their life was exactly the same. But they are, and I mean, everybody's an individual and so on and so forth, but they are so different. So the oldest brother, he's married, he has kids, he's had the same job for 20 years. The middle brother, no, not married, no kids. He's within the last 5 years or so become a certified electrician. Prior to that, there was no like stable work. He would, do kind of seasonal work and so on and so forth. The older brother is very reliable. Like if he says he's going to do this or be there, you just know that's going to happen. The other brother, if he says something, it's like, well, I'm not going to, bet on it or whatever. So I agree that, your upbringing definitely has a lot to play, but I think there's a lot still on the individual. Like even if you're given the greatest start, you can find something negative about it, or vice versa, right? If you've been given the worst start in life, you can overcome and look at life as a positive. Like a lot of it comes down to the individual and how they deal with their circumstances, I think. But I think also, for the most part, if you're given a positive start, you're going to have a positive life.
Yeah. It's just how it's all, like you were saying, it's all down to how you put your own spin on things.
Yeah. So currently I'm retired, I guess I'm retired. But it's not so much like, I'm 41. There's absolutely no reason I can't work. It's just mainly laziness. So this is the third or fourth time that I've been unemployed. Previously was just for like 3 months to 6 months or whatever. And even then, basically, it came down to laziness or just frustration with wherever I was working. Like, just I don't want to deal with this nonsense. I'm able to go without income for a period of time. So the very first time I did that, I was 22, and I'd been working for a year and a half. And in that case, I was working for schools, and the school year ended, and they weren't sure if they would have money to pay me for the next school year. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I'll make other plans. So I ended up traveling for 8 months. Now at that point in time, I was living with my parents, so it was quite easy. Like I knew I had somewhere to go back to. It wasn't like I had to worry about bills and blah blah blah. So from that experience, I realized, okay, I can go without working, without income for a period of time, and recover. So because of that, then after when I moved out from my parents, bought a place, blah, 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 I realized, okay, I can go unemployed again, and there will be a job eventually. So then I ended up doing it. One time I did it where I came to Calgary, stayed with a friend. Then another time I basically spent 4 months just playing World of Warcraft. I didn't work. That was all I did. But each time I got to a point where I was like, okay, I need income, so be it. However, if I think the very first time that I had gone unemployed, I didn't have my parents to fall back on, and it had been a very difficult experience, I probably would have never done it again. So.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, I smell dinner. Sorry.
No, I can't blame you. If I smelled dinner, I'd be excited too. Yeah, this has been an hour and a half, and it looks pretty stable. But I think I'm gonna finish the stream here and take a break for a while. If you want to download StarCraft and try it out, just send me a message on Discord, and I can
Yeah, no, it's been download. It's been downloading for the last half hour.
Oh shit! And it's still downloading?
Yep,
Oh
it's
wow!
about an eighth of the way there.
Holy sh! How big is that?
It's like 24 gig. Yeah,
Holy
24
cow!
gig.
Oh yeah, I guess because yeah,
So it's pretty big.
yeah, because installed it's 30 gigs. Okay, wow. Huh. All right.
Blimey, if this is the free play gonna be 2084 gig, what's the campaign gonna be?
Well,
Jeez Louise.
Actually, the campaign doesn't add that much more to it because you've already got all the units and maps and stuff anyways. So it's more just the objectives, and there's some voiceover and stuff like that. But it's yeah, it doesn't because I think what you're downloading now, I think you have access to all of that stuff. It's just a matter of not being like authorized to utilize that stuff. So
To use it, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's all right then.
All right, but yeah, so I'm gonna be done with the stream,
All
and
right then, bud.
if you get in there, just send me a message on Discord if you wanna try out some stuff. So thanks for showing up. Thanks
Will do.
for
I'll,
entertaining with the voice chat, and thanks for being here, Melvin, even though you weren't too
no
talkative this
problem.
time.
Anytime.
All right, have a good one.
All right, see you later, bud.
Bye.